if you're coming for masters, then you have to make sure that your bachelor's is in the same field. You can't do the mechanical engineering in bachelor's and then come for, I would say, for masters in finance or something like that. So you have to make sure that you are doing it right. Yes.
Dreamland Deutschland, a podcast for all those who plan to go to Germany to study, to learn a vacation, to work, to research, or just to enjoy this beautiful country. Is Germany the red hot destination for many youngsters in South Asia? In this podcast, we find out what it takes to make the leap from the subcontinent to this country so far, far away. Is Germany a dreamland, or is the reality somewhat different? Or perhaps it can be a dreamland if we prepare ourselves better for it. We're in conversation with Prayrit Singh. He's a student in Germany. And before I say too much, I would rather that Prayrit talked about himself. So, Prayrit, let's start with you. When did you start learning German and when?
Okay, so first of all, maybe I can say a few words about me, who I
Okay.
am and what am I doing. First of all, I would really like to thank you for the invite and also a very big hello to all the listeners. I'm Prerit, and I'm super excited to be here. I'm not sure if I'm the right person for this, but I'm still looking for this conversation. I'm 26, originally from Delhi, and currently living in this cute little city called Fulda, right in the middle of Germany, and I'm doing my master's in accounting, finance, controlling at the Hochschule Fulda. Hochschule translated in English would be University of Applied Sciences. But before moving here, I was also working with you at the Goethe-Institut, and but not as a teacher, but as a project coordinator. I just wanted to clarify because that question comes up a lot. I did my bachelor's in business administration in Noida, and my school days were spent in a school in Indrapura. Yeah, so that's about me, and I can't dive to have this conversation with you. So, why did I start learning German and when? That's such a great question, Pradeep. And honestly, I want to sound smarter there, but it was more luck, but and not a lot of planning, I would say. But it was one of the best decisions that turned out. I started learning German in 2017 on weekends with my college after finishing my school, and I still remember having this conversation with one of my best friends that okay, now bachelors and all of those things, and now what is the plan? Are we just going to do like the regular college and all of those things? We wanted to do something cool, but then thought, yeah, let's maybe start with a new language. And at that time, we just imagined how awesome it would be just to throw in a casual hello or V gates or something like that. And it would be a cool icebreaker with girls. Let me put it like that. And then
You
we
thought
considered
German was a good, cool icebreaker with girls.
I
Okay.
would say that. I would say that. We thought that. We were just 19. We just thought everything was cool
Yeah.
that time. And then after that, we thought, which language then? Spanish, French, or German? Those were the three cool, very cool big languages at that time. And we went to on internet like everyone, and then we saw that okay, and then we saw German was the most challenging one of all of them, on internet. And then everyone recommended French because somehow French was very popular back then. But then we did not want to do something which was very popular. We wanted to do something not mainstream. So I thought, yeah, let's give German a shot. And another and the biggest factor I would say would be the French Institute was very far from my place where I was living back then. The Goethe Institute being in central city and in the center, and we thought, yeah, then let's give it a chance. Let's try German out, and if it doesn't work out, we'll move on to something else. I mean, you're not committed for 3 years like college or something. But honestly, from the first classes, I was like, wow, this is amazing. And the technique that was used at the Goethe Institute, I mean, I'm not a teacher and I have zero experience at teaching, and maybe you can tell that better. But I still remember first day my German teacher was telling me in A1, "Ich kann kein Englisch oder Hindi," and I was like, I don't understand that, but how you are telling me, I still understand. I don't understand the language, but I still get the message. So looking back, learning German was just a fun activity for me, and it was just more than picking up a language. Now, when I see it back, I look it back, and it completely changed my life. I would say, it opened up so many doors personally and professionally, and I can't even imagine where I'd be without the language. So
Great.
yeah,
Okay, good to hear. So it's one of those, this just started out as a lark. You started learning German just for the fun of it, but look what you've made out of it. And today you are sitting 2017, and today, since about a year and a half, you're already you have been in
yeah,
Germany studying, right?
yes.
So you're studying in Germany at a university. Why Germany? Why? Okay, we have understood you spoke German, but still there must have
Mm.
been a reason why not one of the countries which are more popular, say England or America. What took you to Germany? Apart from the
Okay.
fact that you spoke German.
Yeah, exactly. I always knew that I wanted to pursue a master's degree. I was even at, those popular destinations, like you said, Canada or like England or something. I had considered them, to be honest. I mean, I don't want to lie here or something. And I was thinking it would be just too expensive to do an MBA or something like that. I'm doing my master's in finance at the moment, and doing an MBA, it would have cost me a fortune, especially at a private university in Canada, in England, and those countries are just also too expensive to live. And apart from that, I have to pay so big amount of tuition fees. And I didn't have that much amount sitting in my bank account, so I had to take those big loans and pay back my whole life. And then Germany, on the other hand, offered me this amazing opportunity, no tuition fees at the public universities, even for non-EU citizens, and just a small semester fees of around 300 euros for 6 months. That is nothing, I would say, compared to all of those things. And of course, I'm paying my rent and all of those things, but that I would also pay in India, in Canada, in UK, in USA, everywhere. So I got this amazing opportunity. I'm also getting international experience because this also attracts other students also. So in Germany, you will also not find Germans, just the Germans, but also the people from all over the world. And like you said, the biggest factor for Germany was my German language skill also. And also, I don't want to lie here again, I had applied for the courses that were completely taught in English. I mean, I don't know if I mentioned it, but my course is completely taught in German.
Mhm.
So I didn't get into any English taught course because there was so much competition there. I would say because the whole world was applying for that. And if you are applying into a German spoken course, then you are there as a local and not as an international. Since I had C1 certification, I was eligible for all the German taught programs, which were then easier to get into because, like I said, you are applying as a local and not as an international. So I would say it just clicked everything, and it was a perfect moment. Yeah, and another thing why I did not want to go to USA or Canada is Germany is not so far from India. I mean, the time difference is also just 3.5 hours in summer and 4.5 in winter. And whenever you feel homesick or something, you can always go back, I would say, because I would give that example from my life. I am feeling very homesick at the moment because it's the Christmas break coming and all of my friends are going home. And I mean, I would also consider Germany as my home, but I felt so much, I was so homesick. Then I thought, okay, like, let's book my flight to India and go back to my family. It's just a flight of 8 hours. It costed me around 300 euro one sided, but it's okay. But if I would have been in Canada or something, it would have costed me at the last moment, I would say 1,000 euros, 1,200, I mean, 1.2 lakhs or something. And it was just too much to afford as a student. So
Okay,
yeah, I mean, yeah.
right. Okay. Okay. Now, once you've taken the decision, yeah, at least
Mm,
mentally you've taken the decision that I want to go to Germany, there is a long preparatory phase. Yeah, there's lots to do. It's not that I decide to go to Germany and you just get your admission, buy a ticket, and go. There is a long preparatory phase. So, what were these formalities that were required? How long did it take you to complete them?
very long. In just two words, very long. When I tell my friends, I mean, I have a very good friend here from Luxembourg. When I told her that I had applied, like I had to go to the appointments and all of those things, it just took me so long. And that's a very really crucial question because the prep does take some time. But I would say that with planning, it's totally manageable. So first, let me explain how the semester things work. Semester dates in Germany are there are two semesters. One would be winter, and this other one would be summer. winter starts in October, and the summer semester starts in April. And most of the programs start in winter semester, that is in October. So if you are planning, but if at some, but sometimes you don't get in the winter semester, so you might then take in the summer semester, but it's not for all the universities. So for non-EU students, applications usually start on 1st April. And by then, you need to have all your documents ready. That means the application starts. It does not mean that you have to start preparing from 1st April onwards. You have to have all the documents by then in your hand, and you can apply directly. This would include your university transcripts, your university degree, and in my case, I even had to submit the IELTS English proficiency test, my English, that I can speak English and all of those things. And I had already started in January, and I started doing, and I had all my documents in the first week of April, and I had applied it via UniSS. I don't know. Should I also like tell
You
what
applied through
UniSS is?
UniAssist. Yeah, tell us about that.
Yes. UniSS is an online portal for international students. They will review your applications to ensure that your documents meet the German university requirements. But what is really important to know here is that they do not make the final decision, but they will just forward your documents to the university, you know? And Uni Assist would take 4 to 5 weeks just to process your documents and send it to the university. So you have to then understand that when you apply on 1st April, then your documents at the university will be by end of May or maybe mid of May if everything works out. Because they might also contact you that, okay, this document is missing, and then you have to send it again. Then they would take 1 to 2 weeks again. So it can take a lot of time, but you just apply by first. I mean, you start applying from the first week of April, and then by mid, or and then after the documents are at the university, then the university also take 1 month, around 3 to 4 weeks, I would say, to process your documents. So I would say if you apply on 1st April, then you would get your acceptance by end of June or something, or by mid of June. So you have to consider that this is a very long process, especially for the foreigners who are not EU. And then after that, you have your acceptance letter, and then you have to start doing with the paperwork, which is a lot. That would be like going for your visa, opening a blocked account, and all of those things. And there are
APS?
not a
Did
APS
you have?
also, exactly. I
Mm.
also had to take the APS. At that time when I had applied, the condition was really bad, but I think now it has gotten
Okay,
better.
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean all of those things, and then after that, the visa appointments are also not very easy to get, and all of those things. But if you apply timely, because if you also start with other students, I would say at the May or something, then you are not proactive. If you are starting from 1st April, then there is no, the embassy also does not have a lot of work. So you might get an appointment because, for example, I'm talking from my personal experience. I got my letter of acceptance by end of June, and I got the appointment also by mid of July. And some other people who got the acceptance by end of July or something, then they were getting in September. And then the visa will also take a lot of time to process. So, and because of this reason, people or the students miss the start of the semester because of these delays. So I would say that it's luck. Okay, that something missed or something. Everyone can make mistake. That is okay. But if you are ahead of time, then you can, of course, ignore that mistake or like correct that mistake. So, I mean, I would say that start by January, start shorting it out, shortlisting your universities, your courses. Make sure that if you're applicable for it, because the very big consideration you have to also see, you can do a master course in German if you're coming for masters, of course. If you're coming for masters, then you have to make sure that your bachelor's is in the same field. You can't do the mechanical engineering in bachelor's and then come for, I would say, for masters in finance or something like that. So you have to make sure that you are doing it right. Yes.
Okay. That sounded almost exhausting, but as you said, it's doable if you
Yeah.
start well in time and prepare yourself well. Yeah. So if you've taken the decision to go, make that decision and then act on it and not just think about it is probably the best advice that one can give. Now you've been through it all and you reached there and you did it on your own. So congratulations. Because a lot of students even get a little put off by this whole process and go to agents and pay a lot of money, which is not really necessary, right? It can be, you can do it on your own. Okay, Prerit, you've been to an Indian university, you've done your bachelor's here, and now you're doing your master's at a German university. What's the difference between going to a university here in India and a university in Germany?
A lot of difference. But before I get into that, I just wanted to say one thing about the agents. Um, I don't know how these agents are making money. Let me put it like that. The thing is, every information is available on internet, so you don't need agents. You just have to be proactive. Like I said, it's manageable by your own. Don't spend like, because whenever I saw the prices, it was like 1,80,000 or something. We're like, it's crazy. I mean, it's just for the information that what is already on internet, and you also don't need German for it. If you don't speak German, it's everything is available on English. Okay, so difference from the Indian university and the German university. It's completely different. From what I experienced in India, here studying is completely your responsibility. What you do, professors don't micromanage you. They do. I mean, let me put it like that they don't care if you are playing games on your laptop or scrolling Instagram during the classes, as long as it's not on loudspeaker, of course. And they will of course encourage the participation and would really appreciate that. But they will not somehow embarrass you in front of the whole class if you can't answer the question. That was a very big cultural difference for me, I would say, because in India you would be embarrassed if you don't know the answer. And like it's on you how to handle the studies, and you have to see how that fits the best in your schedule. Another big difference would be deadlines. Professors won't remind you of the deadlines. They will just tell you at the beginning of the semester, this has to be done, that you have to register for the exam at that point. You might get a mail, you might not, but they don't care. They have told you you have to maintain your own calendars and you have to maintain your own deadlines. For example, last week we had to submit a term paper. We didn't get any reminder. It was automatically on the system. We had to upload it. If we uploaded it, good. Otherwise, they don't care. It was your fault, and then you have to start it again in the next semester. And but I'm not saying that the professors are like very cold or something. If you have any question about any topic, they will always be there, but they will not care how you personally are or something. Even if you are smoking a cigarette outside of the university and they see you, they will just say hi and they move on. They will not say you are not allowed to smoke or something. You should not smoke or something. Yeah. And then exams are also very different here. In Indian universities, you might get a question bank to practice. You do all of those questions and you will get a similar problem in the exam. And here it's like you'll get some examples in the class. You have to understand the concepts, and then we move to the next question or the next topic. And you are expected to do your own research and develop your own opinion, and you have to do your own practice. Exams often test how well you can explain your perspective on a topic and not just how well you have memorized the lectures. And one major thing that stands out in Germany is also the professor who teaches the classes also evaluates the exam. So the course structure and exam preparations are very, very connected with each other. In India, exams are often centrally designed in big universities, and your professor might not have a direct control over them, but here they do. And it's also a very practical approach. In your exams, you can take your law books in your exams. You don't have to learn anything by heart. I mean, yeah, some things, yeah, of course, you have to, but not everything. But what's important here is what I also felt was you have to understand the concept. And lastly, the last thing which I would like to mention would be the vibe with your peers. It is also very different. It's not somehow like they are trying to compete with you or something. They want to be better than you. Like they're trying to get better marks than you. It's very collaborative, I feel. If you have any questions, your classmates are very happy to help you, or given that they know that topic. And it feels like that everyone is learning together rather than running through each other, or competing against each other. So yeah, that is what I felt was a very big difference from the Indian universities, studying at an Indian university than a German university.
Great, that sounds very good. So basically, you have to grow up, right? You have to grow up and take
Yeah.
responsibility, and you have to take responsibility for yourself and control your own actions. So the essence of what you said is. That's good. No, this was at the academic level. I'm sure even at the everyday living level, personal level, there were challenges. You were no longer living at home. You were in this strange country with different food, no mama running around you. So how is that? How is it how do you adjust to life there?
Adjusting to life in Germany, it was really complicated. I would say it was an adventure in itself. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out how to do the some things best. I mean, at some point you just have to understand that you don't have any plan B or you don't have any backup here. If you do something good, it's on you. But if you also make a mistake, that is also your mistake. You can't go to your mom and say, "Yeah, you told me to do like this. That's why I did." Now, like getting mad on them and all of those things, you can't do it. And also, and at some point, initially, I had that problem that, okay, how to do all of those things, how to do your dishes, how to cook, and all of those things. But with time, you will learn that. And for adjusting in Germany, I would say Germany is advanced in some ways, but also surprisingly old-fashioned in some. For example, a very good example would be to build the habit of checking my mailbox regularly. I mean, if I may ask you, when was the last time that you checked your mailbox at your home? I don't know when was the last time. I never checked. I never checked in India, I would say. But when I first moved in, all my rental contract, tax ID, insurance documents, and all the important documents were sitting in the mailbox for 2 weeks. I did not check it. And then I was talking to one of my friends and I told him, yeah, I did not get all of those documents. And then he was like, oh, that is not possible. You are living in the apartment since 2 weeks and you did not get your signed contract. Did you check your mailbox? And I was like, oh, yeah, that is also a thing here. And then I was like, okay. And then I went and there were so many documents lying there. And then ultimately, I had to adapt to all of those things. It took a lot of patience, a lot of self awareness, and you just have to accept that some things you can't do very well, for example cooking or something, especially I would say with people coming from Asia. It's they're used to that good hot food. At some point you just have to realize that you will not get it here. If you want it there, then you have to cook it yourself, and after that you have to do the dishes. So maybe you do that maybe once in 3 days or something, but not daily. But then you just have to adjust to everything, and that is doable. A challenge, but doable.
But you're coping.
I'm trying.
So on the whole, are you happy with your decision? Yeah, that you shifted to Germany despite all these problems that you talked about with dishes and cooking and being self-aware. Would you say it was a good move?
I would definitely say that it was a good move. No regrets there.
Mm.
But if I'm being honest, I wouldn't say that I'm 100% happy or content. But I am satisfied with my decision and I don't regret it a bit. But and moving to Germany was a life-changing experience. You have to balance it out. Like you had that comfort in India. Do you want that comfort or not? Yes or no? So you have to answer all of those questions. And I've learned so much here, not just academically. I mean, I've learned a lot of things about the finance world, okay, but also about being independent. For example, I've become pretty good at managing my household, even though no one's around there to check it. I mean, this won't look very, very, very clean. That's why I blurred it out. But even though there's no one to check, I would still keep it my apartment clean. And trust me, my mom should be really proud of me. But when I'm back in India, my room is somehow messy again. And I would say that it's because of the responsibility that I know that I don't have any backup here. So yeah, I mean, I don't regret the decision at all. And on the academic side, I feel I've grown a lot smarter. Back in India, I never liked how things were expected to memorize, ratification, as we say. And I'm someone who loves understanding concepts, figuring out how
And
things
critical
work and go.
thinking. And critical
Yeah,
thinking is important.
exactly. Critical thinking and getting back to the first principles, just to see how things work, how this thing started. And that's what studying in Germany offers you. And I've really come to love it here, but it hasn't been easy. I'm studying more than ever I did in India because I have to put in a lot of extra effort. I have to do that to build a foundation also for the concepts that other might already be familiar with. For example, I didn't know what a GmbH was, It is a private limited company, just for the side note for the people who don't know. But the students here already knew all of those things. I mean, they have been brought up with that, so they know all of those things. But I
Culture
think I
shock?
managed.
Sorry, I'm interrupting, but any culture shocks?
Any cultural shocks? Yeah, definitely. I was out with my friends in a restaurant, and then the waiter comes and then he asks me for the bill. And then he asked me how much. And then I was like, you will tell me how much. And then he's like, get rent or zusammen. Like you are going to pay it together, or are you going to pay just for yourself? And I was like, I didn't know what to say. I did not want to be somehow very rude or something. And then I said Susaman, and everyone was like, "Oh, seriously, this is your in Ladung and all of those. This is your invite. Are you inviting us for all that?" And I was like, "Is it not normal?" And then one of my friends mentioned that, "No, it's okay. You can say get friend, and we won't mind." And I really liked that concept. I really loved you just don't have to go back to people and tell them, you owe me 5 euros, you owe me 10 euros, can you give me that or something? I mean, they will
Yeah.
give me back, but still, you save that embarrassment, I would say. So
That's a
this
very
is,
standard in Germany, paying separately for
yeah,
yourself.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So that was
Yeah.
a cultural shock, yeah.
What are your future plans now, Prerit?
My future plans. That is a very good question. For my future, I want to stay here in Germany. That is for sure. I don't know for a short while. I mean, for a shorter while or for a longer while. But after my masters, because I have not really worked at a German. I mean, I've worked at Goethe-Institut, but I've not worked in Germany at a company. So I would love to get that experience, and I've heard that they have very good conditions to working here. I mean, you get that work-life balance, you get very good amount of leaves and all of those things. And I'm sure with my masters here in Germany, I would get a good job in Germany, and not even in Germany. I would say maybe in the whole of Europe. So because I can speak English, I can speak German. I can. I mean, I have a lot of doors open for me. So I would love to stay for a while after my masters, and then I will see if I want to come back to India. And I'm sure if I come back to India, I will also get a good job there.
Great.
So yeah.
Okay. Just a very quick answer I want to this one. One thing you love about Germany and one thing you love a little less. Let's put it that way.
One thing I love about Germany, punctual trains. Am I allowed to say that?
Are the
Um,
trains in Germany punctual? I
No,
thought they were
it's
not.
no. I mean, they're not punctual, but still, if they are not punctual, then you can take any other train to your destination. So I find that fair enough. One thing I love about Germany would be the freedom to be yourself. How people live, they respect your choices. No one will judge you. I mean, everyone judges, but I mean, they will not like judge you for being you. I mean, they will accept. There is a lot of acceptance.
Mm.
And one thing I love less about Germany, mm, that might be winter time because the sun sets at 4 p.m. and it might be
Depressing.
little bit depressing for some people, but I'm a night owl, so I consider that my working hours have increased, and I'm just trying to make the best out of it, I would say.
Great.
So yeah.
So one last question, which I like to ask
hmm
all the people that I talk to. Is Germany a dreamland for Indian students? What would you say?
Um, Dreamland. Okay, that really depends how you define a dream, I would say. I just don't want to just sit here and tell you only the good things and tell you, yeah, it's amazing, it's just simple. You come here, you'll get a good job after your studies. That would be sugarcoating it. It's far from reality. And the truth is, you can get a good job after your studies. You can definitely. You'll become much smarter. You'll become more independent person. But none of this is handed to you on the silver platter. You have to earn it. You'll have to wake up in the winter at 7 a.m. and be at the university till 8 a.m. when it's freezing outside. You still got to drag yourself for the lecture for the lectures, and you have to clean your own dishes, take care of your apartment, and whatever life throws at you. I mean, I've just mentioned the very common problems. There will be other specific problems to you, but if your idea of a dream is a place where you can grow, work hard, achieve something meaningful, then yes, definitely Germany is absolutely a dreamland or dream country for everyone who wants a quality life, and not only for students, even for the people who are coming here to work. I mean, the workplace would not be toxic, and they will not expect you to work on weekends. You will get good work life balance. You can enjoy your free time whatever you want to, And like I've already mentioned, the German higher education system will encourage creativity, independence, conceptual learning, and all of those things. And that will challenge you and make you a better person. But if you are ready to put in the effort for that, so if you're willing to work for your dreams, without a doubt, Germany can be the perfect place for you. But if you're expecting an easy ride, I'm not sure. Yeah,
Right, Peter. Thank you so much. That was really, really nice listening to you. Yeah, and I think we got some insights, and I'm sure a lot of young people will be inspired by what you said over here and find their way to Germany to study. And if then they do so, they will know how to go about it and what to expect. Thank you so much for this
definitely.
conversation.
Thank you so much, Puneet, for having me. It was really a pleasure. I really enjoyed having this conversation. And I hope students can find out their way to Germany. And I hope this conversation has helped them. And I'm really looking forward to such conversations in future.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
Peter.
much. Thank you for having
Bye.
me.
Bye.